Hello students, today we are going to study the next chapter from physics, and the name of this chapter is Wind, Storms and Cyclones. So let's see what the new things we are going to know after ending of this lecture. We will be able to know about air and the properties of air. That properties, we can say that air exerts pressure, high speed moving air reduces pressure, air expands on heating, and generation of wind currents. So student, these three properties means air exerts pressure and the high speed moving air reduces air pressure and the air expands on heating. These three properties of air we will study by, and we will prove it by the different types of activities. That activities also we will explain, I will explain over here. So at the last, generation of wind current, we will study how the generation of wind currents takes place. So first let's know something about air. All of you are very familiar with this term air. You often have not seen air because we can't see air, but we can feel air. Okay, air is just all around us, and it is a mixture of different type of gases. The air in the earth atmosphere is made up of approximately 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen. Our atmosphere is divided into 5 layers starting from the earth's surface. Students, if you remember, in the last lecture I have told you about breeze, okay, and I told you that the pleasant and very smooth flowing wind is known as breeze. So here, what is wind? This moving air is called wind. When air moves from one place to another place, it is called as wind. Okay. We will also study that how wind currents are generated or how wind can blow. So first, the first property of air, that is air exerts pressure. How can we prove that air exerts pressure? The fact that air exerts pressure can be understood by many examples. The tube of bicycles get inflated when air is filled in it. Okay, sometimes when you are feeling not feeling comfortable when you are riding the bicycles, you just fill the air into the tubes and you can just ride the bicycles very comfortably. The reason behind that, when you fill the air inside the tubes, the tube becomes flattened and it moves very smoothly on the road. So the tube of bicycles is also filled by air, and this air exerts the pressure on the tubes of the bicycles. The next one is, it is difficult to move the bicycle against the different direction of the wind. Students, you often have feel this experience in your daily life when you come from your school home to your school, or when you go from school to home, and when you just ride the bicycle in just opposite of the wind direction, you are just feeling very uncomfortable, and it is not very easy to just move the bicycle because air exerts the pressure. And if you are just moving your bicycle into the different direction, the air exerts the pressure opposite to you, and you need to work more, and you need to get just show the more energy to move the bicycle in forward direction. All right, this is also, it can be asked into the give reason kind of questions also, that why it is not so easy to move the bicycle into the opposite direction of wind. So you can say that air exerts pressure, and if we move the bicycle into the opposite direction of the wind, so we will feel some kind of pressure, and because of that pressure, bicycle will not move very comfortably or very smoothly into the forward direction. All right, another example is that say sailors do feels it difficult to sail the boats against the direction of the wind. This happens because air exerts pressure. And students, I just want to introduce the term atmospheric pressure. The pressure exerted by air is called atmospheric pressure or air pressure, and it is also measured by an instrument, and the name of this instrument is barometer. Okay, means atmospheric pressure is measured into the by an instrument that is known as barometer. The another examples, or you can say that the activity that we can prove that air exerts pressure when boiled water is filled into the tin can. Students, this is a simple activity you can perform at your home also. Just take a boiled water, take some amount of the boiled water into the tin can, and just pour some ice cube on this, or just keep this hot means a tin can into the ice cold water. You will be able to see that the tin can become distorted, the shape of the tin can become distorted. The reason behind that, just tell me that what is the reason behind that. This happens because of the pressure. The high pressure from outside just distorts the shape of the can. Okay. Another example of the air exerts pressure, you can fly the kite into the sky because of the air pressure from the rear portion of the kite. Aeroplane can also fly because of the air pressure. Birds can also fly because of the air pressure. Okay. And high speed winds creates the area of low air pressure. That is the next property, and we are going to explain over here that always if the air is moving with the very high speed, it always create a low air pressure zone. And how can you prove this? By a simple activity. This is activity given here. So increase the wind and it accompanied by the reduced air pressure, and it can be proved by the following activities. Just take the two balloon, it will be a flattened balloon, and just hold these two balloons like the diagram given, okay, with the help of a rod. Just blow air between these two balloons. Suppose balloon 1 and balloon 2. You have to blow the air between these two balloons. You will be able to know that these two balloons come near to each other. Okay, means if you are just blowing air between these two balloons, these two balloons will be coming towards each other. What is the reason behind that? When you blow the air, okay, and blowing air, the speed of air will increase. If the speed of air will increase in these area, it will create a low air pressure zone. Okay, and as you know that outside the air pressure will be high, so this pressure just pushes the balloons towards each other, and you will be able to know that these two balloons are just coming more close in compared to the previous one. So by this activity we can say that the high speed moving air reduces air pressure. Okay, the another example or activities for the same thing where we can explain. Just student, just take a paper strip. This is the paper strip. You can take it and keep it in near your mouth. Just blow the air above the paper strip. Suppose this is the paper strip and you have to blow the air above it. Can you tell me that what will be the direction of the paper if it will blow? It will be upside or downside? It will be upside. Okay, if you blow the air above the paper, just do at your home. It is very simple activities. Just take a piece of paper and keep it near your mouth and just blow the air from your mouth over the paper. You will be able to see that the paper always moves towards the upward direction. What is the reason behind that? The same reason, if you blow the air from your mouth, means you are just increasing the speed of air. If the speed of air will increase, what will be the atmospheric pressure here? High or low? It will be low. Okay, the low atmospheric pressure here, atmospheric pressure will be low, and at the downside it is high. All right, so the downside the atmospheric pressure is high and upper side will be low because you are blowing the air, and the blowing air or moving air, high speed moving air reduces the atmospheric pressure. And if here the low atmospheric pressure and downside high atmospheric pressure, it means that the air will push the paper strip towards the upward direction with the help of pressure. So this is the two simple activities we can perform, that the high speed air always reduces the atmospheric pressure. The next property of air is Air always expands on heating. As the molecules heat and move faster, they are moving apart. So, air, like most other substances, expands when heated and contracts when cooled. Because there is more space between the molecules, the air is less dense and surrounding matters, and hot air floats always in upward direction. Okay, we can prove this one also, that air expands on heating by the following activities. You can, students, you can do at your home also. Nowadays, as you everybody is at it's on their home, so they can perform. See, science activities are very interesting. You can do at your home anytime. Okay, so let's perform the second activities, that air expands on heating. What you have to do? Firstly, a balloon you have to take, okay, and just tie the balloon on the glass tube in the same manner as you are seeing into the diagram. Okay, this is the hot water. You can take the water into a vessel and then keep a glass tube into the hot water, and just up the tip of the glass tube you have to take the balloon. You will be able to see that in the hot air, in the hot water, the balloon becomes inflated. What is the reason behind that? The reason is same. Whatever the air is present into the glass tube, it just expands and reaches toward the balloons. Okay, and it reaches into the balloons and it start to expand, and as the balloon is made up of rubber or plastic, so it is the nature of the plastic that it expands. So when air expands, along with the air, the surface of the balloon also expands. But in this next activities, if you put the same balloon, just take out this balloon and means whole system along with the tube and keep it into the cold water. Now it is cold. The water is cold. So keep this balloon into the cold water. You will be able to see that whatever the inflated balloon was there, it has become sucked now. Okay, there will be no any kind of inflated structure. It will be a sucked structure, means that air contracts on cooling. When air contracts, the all air which are present into the balloon along with the gas tube, it become contact, and because of this contact structure, balloon also becomes sucked. Alright, so this is the two common activities which prove that air expands on heating and contracts or cooling. Next we are going to study, that is generation of wind current. How wind currents are generated? Students, wind currents are generated just because of the uneven heating of Earth's surface. You know that Earth's surface is not equal at all the places. It contains the mountains, hills, equatorial plates, you know that, and plains also. So you know very well that equatorial region gets the highest amount of the sunshine throughout the year. And if you remember the last lecture of the heat chapter, I told you that when the surface becomes hot, the air present around us or the air present near the hot surface is always become lighter because of the heating, and it moves into the upward direction, and it creates always a low air pressure zone at the surface of the Earth. Alright, so what is happening into the simple phenomena that winds blow or the generation of the wind currents? So it is just a sunshine, the equatorial regions gets the highest amount of the sunshine throughout the year. Due to this, the air near the equatorial region gets heated, and the warm air rises up and creates the area of low air pressure, as I have told you already. The cooler air from equator to fill up. Okay? The cooler air from the higher latitudes rushes toward the equator to fill this gap. Students, it is just the same phenomena like the sea breeze and land breeze, whatever you have read into the last chapter. Okay, because it is also the same. at the equatorial places the surface become heat and the air also become heats up and it moves into the upward direction, and to fulfill these gaps from the cooler place or the higher latitude places, the places where the temperature is very cold, the atmospheric pressure is very high at that places. So atmospheric pressure, the air moves from the high atmospheric pressure to low atmospheric pressure, means from high latitudes towards the equatorial, and in this way the winds move from high latitudes to equatorial and wind currents are generated. This results into the wind's movement from the tropical zones towards the equator. Similarly, wind movement is caused in other parts of the earth. Alright, so hope you understood that how wind currents are generated, how we can prove that air expands on heating, how we can prove that wind current a fast or high speed moving air always reduces pressure and all. So if you are not able to understand, just see this video again and try to clear your concepts. Till then, best of luck and keep on